Well, would you look at that? It's a OnePlus 6T in-house in the building. We have one. I wasn't sure this was ever going to happen, but it appears to have happened. 6T in my hand. So, yeah, you guys know we're fans of OnePlus phones. 6, 5, 5T, 3, 3T. We've recommended these phones for years because they offer that clean Android experience, affordable price, nice set of specs. So, yeah, we want to share our thoughts with you on this new phone from OnePlus. So to do that, as we always do, to get started, we'll unbox it, give you some first impressions. We'll get to that review, do some comparisons, whatever we do, whatever we always do with these phones, we'll do that. So let's do that now. OnePlus 6T time. So what should you know first about this pricing? Well, you can buy this phone right now. In fact, that's what we did. It already showed up. So 6 gig RAM, 128 gig storage will start at $549, or then you can jump up to 8 gig and 128 gigs of storage for $579, or go crazy and get 8 gig RAM and 256 gig storage for $629. Pricing, those prices are pretty incredible for what you get. Also, this phone is sold at T-Mobile. If you want to walk into a T-Mobile store, you can. This is an unlocked version purchased directly from OnePlus. This is also the first one to work on Verizon, so some big deals there. If you're a Verizon customer, have been, and you haven't been able to go OnePlus for all these years, now is your chance. Or if you want to go buy it from a carrier and deal with that sort of experience, you can do that at T-Mobile. So anyway, or unlocked like this, just buy it directly from OnePlus, and it'll ship to you pretty darn quickly. But for under $6 or $550, and then topping at $630, you kind of get a lot here. And by a lot, I mean, the specs are really, really good. Here, let's start unboxing this rather than just listening to me talk. Well, I don't know how I'm going to get into this. But so you get that all glass build. There are midnight and mirror black options. This is midnight black. The mirror black you should avoid like the plague. It's a shiny fingerprint disaster. At least the 6 was, so I'm assuming the 6T will be as well. I think we just slide this thing off maybe. So I went midnight black because, again, it's the color you should probably go with. It's kind of like that finish on the back of the Pixel 3 XL when you get black. So what I was getting at in terms of value is 6 gig or 8 gig RAM, 128 gig or 256 gig storage, in-display fingerprint reader, and this is the first time we've gotten an in-display fingerprint reader in the US. Oxygen OS, which is OnePlus's custom OS on top of Android, and trust me, it's one of the better. Let's see if I can get this out without breaking the phone. Oh my goodness, that is like really stuck. Okay, so there's the sign of the in-display fingerprint reader right there. So that's how you unlock it, and we'll get to that in a second. But so Oxygen OS, which is the skin on top, is actually one of the better. You also have USB-C ports and a 3700 milliamp hour battery and a Snapdragon 845 processor and all that good stuff. Okay, dual camera, although it's the same camera basically that you got on the OnePlus 6, which is a good camera, just not really a great camera. They did take away the headphone jack, so that's something. They used to brag about having headphone jack, so it's kind of weird that they've now swapped away from that. So in the box also, though, we'll get back to the phone in a second. Here's their, used to be called dash charging. They had to change that name because they probably got sued, but it's fast charging, and it's one of the fastest charging experiences you'll ever find in a smartphone. You plug this in into your phone and it charges stupid fast. And your phone also doesn't really get hot while that happens, which it does on some other phones. So really, really great charging experience with OnePlus phones. And then also down in here, you have a 3.5 millimeter to USB-C adapter dongle. So because there's no headphone jack, you get this bad boy. So put your headphones in there. USB-C here. So in the box, I do not believe they are including any sort of headphones. Let's see what's in this though. I think it's just oh, it's a case. It's a case. So they are including a case. I don't know if they're doing this with the T-Mobile model, but this unlocked version comes with a sort of TPU gel case in case you want protection. OnePlus also makes really nice accessories in case you want to buy some of their own, in case you want to buy some of the accessories they sell. Their case is usually really great. So just so you know. Let's see what else. I believe this should just be guides. It's probably guides and then probably your SIM eject tool. Yeah. So to get your SIM in and out, you're going to use this little tool. Poke it in the little hole that is probably on the side right there. So you poke it in that little hole and that will eject your SIM tray, and then you can put in your Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, or no Sprint, sorry. So just those 3 SIMs or prepaid or whatnot. So anyway, that's oh, there is a welcome letter here. Let's see what it says. From P. Lau, CEO. I am not going to read that. If you buy this phone, or here, maybe you could screenshot that. It should be in 4K, and you can read that yourself. Never settle, though. Just take away headphone jacks. All right, that's in the box. Let's dive into the phone. All right, phone time. So there's a sticker here that reminds you about the fingerprint reader. So just take that off. Slide that over there. On the back side, another sticker Oh, just a little guy. Nice. Oh, and then this awful sticker, which will probably leave residue. Oh, no, not bad. Quality sticker this time, OnePlus. I do appreciate that, actually. So first impression just of the back, this actually does feel exactly like the Pixel 2's back, where it kind of has that soft touch finish and it has that matte look. It is actually really, really nice looking. I am so glad that I went this over mirror. Again, go midnight. Do not go mirror. Here is a Pixel 3 XL actually. So you can see that finish is basically the same. Google's might be a little more matty out on the top, whereas this could just be a matte sticker underneath glass. But either way, they kind of give you similar experience. OnePlus looking a little shinier. Set that aside. So let's power up here and take a tour of some of the outside. So you guys can see that notch, which isn't really showing on camera at the moment. Oh, I believe they do put a factory screen protector on this thing too, which some of you are going to hate this, but I do. Oh, good Lord. I do not like these flimsy plastic screen protector things, so that's gone. And I believe the reason that's there is because the in-display fingerprint reader could have some issues if you put other people's screen protectors on, so they kind of give you that one out of the box. I can't use that. So anyway, you may want to leave that on. I'm not going to leave that on. So here's the phone, though. Let's actually whip through settings and stuff so you can see the actual UI. Now through that whole software setup, you can really get a good feel for what the changes are here versus the 6. So still a full 1080p display here, AMOLED. That's what OnePlus puts in almost every single one of their phones. But where it changes is right up here, that notch, right? So we're calling this the baby teardrop around here. And really all that is just a subtle dip to house a front camera. That is it. And it's kind of hard to pick up on camera. And then right above it, this is actually the speaker grill. So speaker grill, then front camera. That's it. So you only have this little baby teardrop. And then on the bottom, you do have a little bit of a chin. It is not substantial by any means, but there is a little bit of a chin there. So you really get that full display experience. It's a 6.4 inch or 4.1 inch display. Again, 1080p, 402 pixels per inch, and that 19.5 by 9 ratio. So that really long ratio, which we're seeing on almost all phones now. To compare that notch, here's that Pixel 3 XL again. So that is the 3XL's notch. That's not like an exaggeration. So that's also the chin on the 3XL. You can see how those differ as well. Now remember, Google's phone just came out last month or a couple weeks ago, and here is OnePlus's new phone with that small notch and that small chin. Now, to be fair to Google, they do have stereo front-facing speakers, 2 front cameras, so there's some differences there, but the phones are quite striking and when you put them next to each other, that notch anyway. So in terms of other stuff, let me just flip this over. I haven't really talked about the camera. So dual camera setup once again, just like the 6. You have a 16 megapixel camera and then a 20 megapixel camera. They're both at f1.7. And they have OIS or optical image stabilization, at least in the regular 16 megapixel as well as electronic image stabilization. You're not going to see a massive improvement over the 6. They're not going to be as good as the Pixel 3 cameras either. They do have sort of a new night mode that should help you take at least city skyline photos at night, but good cameras, not going to be great. You also notice no fingerprint reader there on the back because, again, it's embedded in the front. On this right side is your power lock switch, and then this is actually an alert slider up here that when you have unlocked and you slide up and down, it goes from ring to vibrate to silent. So it's one of those unique features they put on there. If you own an iPhone, you are used to this sort of thing, but theirs is a 3-pronged approach there. So volume rocker over here on this left side, and then that SIM tray I was talking about in case you need to put a SIM in there. Down here on the bottom, things get really fun. You do have a USB-C port right here, and what appears to be 2 speakers. I'm assuming that's just one speaker with sort of a chamber that carries across, but you'll notice no headphone jack at all down there. If you go up top, no headphone jack there either. So OnePlus asks people every year if they like headphone jacks, and like 80-90% of people who vote say yes, and then they took the headphone jack out anyway. So that's kind of mostly it for an unboxing. In terms of first impressions, I've played with all of OnePlus's phones in recent years. This feels exactly like all of their other phones in terms of the back design. I believe they call this like a horizon silhouette or something, and it kind of has this nice curvature to the back. So it really sits in your hand. At a 6.4-inch display, it doesn't feel huge, which is just so crazy how far we've come. I'm obviously going to be a big fan of their software because it's basically stock Android with a little bit of their own skin on it. Right now, out of the box, I have back, home, and app switcher buttons there, but you can switch that to a number of different gestures. If you swipe this down, you can see everything just kind of looks very Google-esque in terms of the Android experience. A little more polish that they've thrown onto it. Like the settings menu doesn't look like Google's, but it's sort of laid out the same way. Here are those gestures and stuff I'm talking about, though. So nav bar and gestures, there are a couple of different versions. You can do gestures that sort of give you Google's experience, or you can go the full screen, no button at all experience down here, which is OnePlus's. I'll probably play with both of those during this review period, but it's very clean, and it's also Android Pie. So let's see if I can find that. So it's Oxygen 9.0. It is also Android 9. So this is running Pie, the latest version of Android. And OnePlus has gotten pretty good at updating phones in recent years, or in the last year. So you should get regular updates here, and it should be kept up to date for the most part. Other than that, yeah, this is supposed to be just an unboxing first impressions thing. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Super excited to dive into this phone, though. I'm a huge fan of OnePlus's phones in terms of that experience, the hardware, and of course the value. Really fun, going to be fun to check out that in-display fingerprint reader as well. Hey, actually, you know what? Let's set that up right now. Why not do it live on screen? So let's see, fingerprint. Sure, let's do it. How about fingerprint and a pattern? Fingerprint and a pattern. All right, so yeah, that's fine too. This talks about screen protectors, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to pay attention to that. All right, there it is. So right there, I think I just start putting my finger on that thing, and it's reading it. Nice. We're reading it. How many more times do I have to do this, buddy? Now, I will probably set up... Oh, now I have to get the edges. Okay, let's get the edges. Think I'm doing that? No? I'm not really sure what's going on at this point. It's starting to read. I'm getting no feedback from it, so kind of weird. The setup here is not going great. Not going to lie here.